I don't think I'll have a lot of space for this particular video, but so I was looking still on what do you call this, on Twitter, and I saw this video from TMZ because the other night when I listened to TMZ, it almost sounded like they were talking about a different issue where Harry had asked Backgrid for some photos, and so that they just sounded like I didn't like their tone with that. But with
Welcome to TMZ Live, Harvey Levin here. Charles here.
with this one,
Meghan and Harry had quite the night. It started out very
I
glamorous.
mean, let's just
With a
listen
lot
to
of
this and then
acclaim.
offer our
Meghan got an
commentary,
award,
critiques,
and it was a very
etc. for
glitzy
this
event.
report.
We'll get into that in a minute. But the headline turns out not to be what happened at the event, it's what happened after.
Right. As their spokesperson describes it, and as we have confirmed with independent sources, that there was a harrowing, in fact, they say near catastrophic 2-hour chase around New York City, paparazzi chasing them. And it all started right here. This is around 10 p.m. as they left the Ziegfeld Theater and they got into their SUV. Well, what happened once they got in that SUV is a chase that at times got up to speeds of 80 miles per hour. And I know you may be thinking, where in New York City are you going to drive 80 miles per hour?
That would be the FDR.
The FDR drive on.
Okay, so as I said, I used that clip just for the commentary and the reporting, under the copyright laws and stuff like that. But when I listened to TMZ the other day, I got a different impression that they were trying to I mean, maybe I was sleepy, I don't know, but they were sort of not sounding to me like they were reporting not on Harry and Meghan's side, but it's like almost like they were joining with the international media, the British press, whatever, to downplay what happened to Meghan and Harry. But clearly, based on this video here, they are confirming what Harry and Meghan said. And it says here they confirmed that their own sources said it's what happened. The paparazzi, certain members of the paparazzi crew confirmed that it's what happened. And and the video images confirm what happened.
Were doing 80, trying to shake photographers who were chasing them,
And they were right on their tail.
yeah, and this was not just Harry and Meghan in their single SUV. They actually had an entourage that. It's clear that they anticipated some of this.
Clearly, they were in an SUV. There were two security SUVs that were tailing them, and then there was a fourth SUV that eventually was used to try and block traffic to thwart the paparazzi that were following them.
Right. So that's a lot of security on the part of Harry and Meghan. So with all those measures in place, how did so many of those paparazzi guys get so close? I mean, obviously you can't like shoot the paparazzi or fight the paparazzi or run over the paparazzi because they're taking photos of you. So the fact that they had, their own SUVs following behind them, is not really dispositive. I mean, I don't know. How would I have done that differently in their place? I mean, clearly, as TMZ said, they anticipated that there would be something of this nature. Well, the first way that I would avoid this kind of stuff is I'm not getting involved, right? I mean, I don't care how many awards you give me, because I think some of these award things are, I mean, obviously they're well merited and so on and so forth, but I think a part of it too is frankly the publicity, right? And I think Meghan has to be careful with that. And I know that sounds weird to say that because obviously these are merited awards. And if you're awarded something, you should go. But she has to watch this, in the future that, she's getting awarded everything left, right, and center. And then, her presence there is going to create. Sorry about that. I lost my, I ran out of space, so I had to start all over again. It's like at least an hour later. So yeah, I was saying that her presence there would create obviously a lot of publicity, a lot of publicity. So even with the Women of Vision Awards, it is an award that has been around for many, many years, obviously. But to be perfectly honest with you, I'd never heard of it until Meghan. So, and now that I've heard of it, I think it's amazing. I think it's great. Excuse me. And excuse me, that was bad. And I think it's terrible that I'd never heard of it. Oh, and the fact that I have never heard of it doesn't really say much because, like I always say, I mean, I live under a rock. Really, I do. And I mean, you'd be amazed, what I don't know. But um, I'd never heard of these awards, or even the Gracie Awards also is something also that has been around for many, many years, if not decades. And, with Meghan being the guest of honor, obviously it puts it on the map immediately. And it's good for her because it recognizes her work, but it also is win-win because the organization also gets a lot of publicity for this event. And I think in that case, Meghan will have to be very, very creative in how she accepts these awards. I mean, she can't go, I don't think. I mean, well, she and I are obviously very, very different people. I mean, she's a public figure, she's an experienced public figure, she is an accomplished public figure. She knows how to be a public figure, really. I mean, down to a science, really. And so she can handle it. She can handle the pressure. She can handle the paparazzi and so on and so forth. I mean, look, my concern really for her is from a security standpoint. She's the mother of two very young children. And I think while she can remain composed in these kinds of situations, each time she puts her foot forward and she goes out to these public events, even with not four paparazzi, but four security SUVs following her and everybody armed up to the hilt and this, that, and the next, there's going to come that time where, her life is going to really be in serious danger, if not worse, right? Just because of the interest it generates and the interest. I mean, Paris Hilton had a similar hold on the paparazzi. I think there are some differences, though. I think Paris was more willing to play along. But even so, I've seen footage of Paris Hilton where it is clear that she was almost in over her head sometimes and that it could have become a very serious security issue for her, whether it's a stampede of these photographers or whatever. I mean, Paris enjoyed it and she would actually talk with them and laugh with them and engage with them in a way that was very, very unusual for a celebrity. Subsequently, you've seen other celebrities try to sort of do a kind of a Paris strategy, including the Kardashians, but no one was as good as befriending the paparazzi like Paris, except maybe for Britney Spears, who very briefly dated the paparazzi. And that was just a whole other thing. And I always remember Gwyneth Paltrow saying one time, when you start dating the paparazzi, I don't remember the rest of it. I just remember how incredulous she was when she couldn't believe that Britney was dating the paparazzi. So, the paparazzi is difficult and they don't stalk everybody on the same level because not everybody would bring in the kind of payback that others would. For example, even now, if they were to stalk Paris Hilton and take photographs of her, they're not going to make as much money as if they stalk Meghan because Meghan is now it. Paris's heyday, or heydays, I should say, are behind her. She's not as interesting, as new, as fresh, as she as newsworthy, if you will, as she was in the past. And if you look around Hollywood right now, except maybe for Justin Bieber and his wife, what is his wife's name? Hailey Bieber, and who else might be tailed like this by the paparazzi? I mean, not even Selena Gomez would be tailed like this by the paparazzi, or I can't think of anybody right now who would be so um you know pursued by the paparazzi as Meghan and Harry. Okay. And I think that even if Harry was traveling alone, he would not be pursued in this way. He would be pursued, but not in this way. It's Meghan. Meghan is the thing that is causing everybody to lose their minds, because she is the novelty. Harry is not a novelty, except insofar as he's a prince living in the United States. That has its own novelty factor. But Meghan is very, very novel because she was able to penetrate an institution and a family that someone like her just wasn't supposed to be able to do. It's like Barack Obama becoming president. Like, this just shouldn't ever happen. This has never happened. Like, what just happened here? What are you? What do you have that, what is this? So that's the effect she has on people. That's what makes her novel, is because she was able to push her head and body in a place where no one's ever done before, right? That's going to continue to be interesting for a while. And so she's going to have to make her life decisions based on this fact, right? And to the extent that she prioritizes her children having parents until they are able to take care of themselves, teenagers in their 20s, she's going to have to change her strategy, really. I mean, it's not to live on the house arrest. I'm not asking her to live on the house arrest. But I don't think these very public outings to award ceremonies, and I enjoy it, because, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't even hear her speech so much. I enjoy it on a very superficial entertainment level, and that's probably a problem, right? I want to see what she's wearing. Really, that's it. I mean, how does she look? What is she wearing? What's Harry wearing? What's Doria wearing? How is the hair? How is the color scheme? What does the shoe like? The bag? It's very superficial. But honestly, that's what I took away from it is what how does she look? How princess? How is my princess looking? How's my duchess looking? And so maybe I'm too a part of the problem. I don't know, but I'm not, stalking her at 10 o'clock at night with cameras in SUVs. I mean, this goes on a different level, right? And I'm glad that TMZ has this video up about it, because, people are trying to say that they lied about this situation. It clearly happened, right? And yeah, I think Meghan and Harry need to, um, they have two children. They can't do this. This is not possible. They can't do these very public high octave outings, because where people know in advance where they're going to be. It's too dangerous, and it's not always going to be just cameras, right? We live in a very crazy world, very crazy time. It's just, no, Meghan and Harry, please, because something happens to them, a lot of people are going to be very depressed for a long time. And none of us wants to be depressed. We just want them to stay alive and healthy with their children. And we don't want their children to be orphans either. So they have to really think about that, I think. But anyway, thanks to TMZ for this video. Check it out. It's on Twitter. Yeah, so check it